Thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Nolin Ebel Ame with the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has presented 2022 appropriation bill of 16.39 trillion naira to the joint session of the National Assembly, which he tagged Budget of Economic Growth and Sustainability. The president, who highlighted some achievements of his administration in the last 1 year, solicited the support of the National Assembly to do more in the coming year. He said, despite the budget deficit and impact of COVID-19 pandemic, government has been able to fulfill some of its obligations. President Buhari reassured Nigerians of government commitment to the security of lives, property and investment nationwide.
Of the National Development Plan of 2021 to 2025, which are A. Diversifying the economy with robust MSME growth, B. Investing in critical infrastructure, C. Strengthening security and ensuring good governance, D. Enabling a vibrant, educated and healthy populace, E. Reducing poverty, and F. Minimizing regional, economic and social disparities.
Presidents of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, and the Speaker House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila, commended President Buhari for sustaining early presentation of annual budget proposal to the joint session of the National Assembly and urged the legislature to give the appropriation bill accelerated hearing. Similarly, the National Assembly says it will keep the promise of ensuring the passage of the 2022 appropriation bill before the end of the year to sustain the January to December budget cycle. During the budget presentation, the leadership commended the president for submitting the proposal in good time. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The 2021 budget was laid on the 8th of October. That of 2022 came a day earlier. This trajectory enables full implementation of budgets like that of 2022, which since the Fourth Republic made history as the first to be fully implemented, bringing about economic growth despite recession to the benefit of citizens.
Unlike many other countries, Nigeria was able to come out of the recession due to the ability of this administration to deploy the resources to support the economy. Mr. President, the second quarter GDP report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, Nigeria's gross domestic product GDP increased by 5.01% in the second quarter of 2021. The strongest growth since first quarter of 2014 is a trajectory that we need to sustain.
Ensuring greater fidelity to the letter and spirit of our appropriation laws have led to the measurable improvements in public infrastructure, access to education and housing, healthcare, and transportation, among other things.
The National Assembly leadership called attention on the need to put more efforts on key areas for improvements.
The 2021 budget and indeed the 2020 budget provided for significant infrastructure development across the country. It is imperative that we prioritize the completion of ongoing projects on the development of infrastructure in our country. The 2022 budget should target at completion and consolidation of the projects already started.
Today, innovations in technology, the changing nature of global trade, the challenges of cross-border insecurity, and the increasing interdependence of nations, each and together, continue to present challenges we must overcome and opportunities we must embrace.
Ministries, departments, and agencies of government were also issued words of warning to sustain achievements so far recorded.
Recent position taken by the legislature and the executive arms of government to insist on zero allocation to MDS that failed to remit their revenues for the 2022 appropriation. This saw an increase in the contribution of MDS by over 400 billion. It is my view that MDS can contribute to the Federation account much more than that.
We will demand a thorough accounting for the funds previously appropriated, disbursed, and expended. And we will take steps to hold to account those who fail to provide the records we need to make informed decisions on the appropriation bill.
The National Assembly will in the coming weeks be engaged in the scrutiny of the proposal to ensure the delivery of a near-perfect document. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And still on the Red Chamber, Senate has confirmed the nomination of 4 persons for appointment as chairman, chief executive and executive directors for the board of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. This follows the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, which screened the nominees. The committee described the nominees as knowledgeable persons qualified for the positions.
Idari Ogogo Ogan, Chairman, Farouk A. Ahmed, Chief Executive, Abiodun Adeneji, Executive Director, Finance and Accounts, Obogu Oka, Executive Director, Distribution Systems, Storage and Retail Infrastructure. The nominees responded to the questions asked in factual and convincing manner. They exhibited a high-level understanding of the entire petroleum value chain.
And time is of essence, and this is an authority that will lay a foundation. And therefore, they need to work hard, they need to be selfless. What they do is going to impact very significantly on the reform of the petroleum industry in Nigeria.
From Abuja, we take you to Makurdi, where Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State says the threat to impose a state of emergency in his state if the security situation worsens is not President Buhari's idea. Addressing State House correspondent after a meeting with the president, the governor claimed to have reported the Minister of Justice to the Nigerian leader over the matter, which he described as unfortunate. Governor Obiano maintained that, apart from the recent security crisis, Anambra State had been the most peaceful in the southeast. The governor, however, used the opportunity to commend the president for improved federal presence in the state's critical economic sector. All right, moving on. Governor Samuel Utom has vowed that law will take its course on every criminal without recourse to whose acts is God. The governor stated this when he received the Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG Zone 4, Mustapha Dandaura, at the Government House, Makurdi. Charles Saba reports.
Governor Samuel Utom, who appreciates the Inspector General of Police for deploying the caliber of AIG Mustapha Dandaura, a Daura-born police officer from Kaduna State, to head Zone 4, said he is committed to the rule of law and will continue to abide by its principles.
Let everybody that is in Benue State to respect the laws of the land, the Constitution of the Federal Republic and the available laws. That is all that we seek to do. We are one Nigeria, and we believe in one Nigeria. Let us work together. That is what we stand for.
AIG Mustapha Dandaura, who says Benue is among the volatile states, assures his synergy with other security agencies to bring criminality to its knees.
I'm here as a neutral body, as a neutral police officer, and I'm ready to work with you hand in hand in the course of fighting criminal activities in Benue State.
He says he will continue to bring his experiences to bear on fighting crimes and criminality in the states under his jurisdiction. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Let's now join Hingino in Lagos for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Norlin. Otta Ido, a flood-prone slum in the mainland local government area of Lagos, may soon wear a new look. The community has been selected for the urban renewal project of the Lagos State, which the British government is supporting. Jennifer Igwe was at the stakeholders meeting and tour of the community by the British High Commissioner to Nigeria.
Also, in mainland local government area of Lagos State is a slum with myriad of challenges. Top on the list is flooding. Unstructured gutters and canals that are not linked to appropriate discharge points heightens the problem. Compounding the effects of flooding in a near coastal community of plastic waste.
The water continued to encroach into the community. They now think they will fill the place with this refuse, so that it does not allow the water to overflow into the community.
This community meeting between the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang, is targeted at fashioning adaptation measures for Otto. It is not the first time a gathering of this nature is happening here. The High Commissioner's visit is a follow-up and first-hand assessment of the Lagos Resilience City Strategy, which the British government is supporting.
This community, though, is working with us and the Lagos State Government on piloting some new initiatives to try and address the flooding and help people respond more effectively.
They have supported the development of the state's urban renewal guidelines, and this community has been identified as a pilot project to implement those guidelines. So this visit is for the British government to actually see where those guidelines will be implemented and see what else they can bring to the table.
As nations around the world get set for the big climate talks in Glasgow, United Kingdom, key issues that will be on the table are mitigation measures to check global emissions of gases that cause global warming and adaptation strategies that will help particularly poorer, developing and small island states cope with the effects of climate change. The visit of the High Commissioner is connected to this. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
Drug abuse is a challenge that has attracted global attention because of its disastrous effects. The NDLEA is mindful of the menace, and Chairman of the agency, General Buba Marwa, has promised to continue the fierce fight against it until Nigeria is free from substance abuse. Our correspondent gives us more details. Report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime shows that global drug abuse statistics stands at 5.6%, while Nigeria has almost 3 times the global data with about 14.4%. This depicts how substance abuse has eaten deep into the country. More worrisome is that most drug abusers are youths.
These criminal elements are using these innocent minds to move these drugs around to sell with the hope that because they are young, you will overlook them. You will not want to search them.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency chairman is leading the vanguard by involving like-minded people.
If I had my way, drug abuse would be a topic of daily discussion in the public sphere across Nigeria. If not for anything, but to heighten society's awareness about the need to act decisively, urgently, and comprehensively against this pervasive, destructive habit.
Many of these people are on the streets, even though they may be functioning in one way or the other, but life has just become very, very meaningless for them.
Each pill, each needle, each sniff, and each drug entails great danger, and defeating this monster is important. To win the fight against substance abuse, experts are advocating fast and decisive actions through collaboration and adequate youth engagement. We pause here for a break. Nationwide will be back shortly with Dibabari in Port Harcourt.
Has commenced second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. If you are 18 years and above and unvaccinated, register at www.nphcda.vaccination.gov.ng. Visit the nearest vaccination site to receive AstraZeneca or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine as first dose. If you received your first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine before 8th July, get your second dose now. All COVID-19 vaccines are free and certified safe. At the vaccination site, you can check blood pressure and know your diabetes risk status. Children aged 0 to 23 months will receive childhood vaccines and screened for malnutrition. After vaccination, continue to adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols. For more information, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Arise, O Nigerians! Let's applaud the courage of Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo, aka the Aggressor, for his skillful and dogged escape from the bloodthirsty bandits in the forest of Zamfara State. 3 hearty cheers also to all military and security personnel who are tirelessly protecting fellow Nigerians from insurgency and banditry while maintaining peace and order. Nigerians are proud of Abayomi Dairo and all our gallant men and women in uniform for sacrificing so much to keep us safe. We admire your courage and we say thank you. God bless the armed forces. God bless Nigeria. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Iheanacho near post and scores.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will look to continue their excellent start to the World Cup qualifiers when they take on Leythove of Central African Republic. Will Leythove pull off a shock on the home soil of the Super Eagles? It's Nigeria versus Central African Republic at the Tesla Balogun Stadium in Lagos, Nigeria on the 7th of October, showing on the network service of the NTA and AIT from 4:30 p.m. with live radio broadcast on Cool FM, Wazobia FM and Nigeria Info. You can also join online at sporty.com and NPFL TV. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers are proudly brought to you by BetNiger and supported by MTN, Coca-Cola and Dettol, proud sponsors of the Super Eagles.
Port Harcourt. Governor Nyesom Wike says his desire is to make River State the hub of medical tourism in the country. The governor was speaking shortly after inspecting some ongoing projects in the health sector. Ogedi Ekwe completes the report.
Governor Wike says his administration has spent huge resources in the health sector to give Rivers people the best health care because it is the obligation of government to protect the lives of the people and provide them with good health care system. He expressed optimism that all the ongoing projects in the health sector will be completed and handed over for public use by May 2022.
For all these projects, I can tell you, I have released 100% of the funds, be it the renal center, be it the pathology department, be it the clinical sciences or basic clinical sciences. I have released 100% of the entire funds. So I believe the institution should be able to make sure that all the contractors work towards the deadline given.
The governor reiterated his commitment to utilize available resources and provide the necessary training for medical doctors to improve the healthcare delivery system in the state and discourage medical tourism abroad. He expressed satisfaction with the level of work done at the various project sites and the synergy between the government and doctors to give Rivers people the best healthcare. The projects inspected include Dr. Peter Audley Cancer Cardiovascular Diseases Diagnostic and Treatment Center, the Basic Clinical Sciences and Clinical Sciences, the Renal Center, and Medical Pathology Building for the College of Medical Sciences at the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital in Port Harcourt. Ogedi Nyekwere, NTA News.
Members of the newly inaugurated local government chapter executive of the All Progressive Congress in Akwa Ibom State have been tasked to strengthen membership bonds in their respective areas. This was the position of party stalwarts at the inauguration of the local government officials. Clement Barikun reports.
I will devote myself to the service and well-being of members of the party.
The local
local government chapter executives inaugurated to run the affairs of the party at that level include 31 chairmen and their executive members. Addressing the new chapter executive officers, a party stalwart and Director General Akwa Ibom Democratic Forum, Obangemem Ekprekweku, said Akwa Ibom State cannot be left behind in the policy direction of the party, as enunciated by President Muhammadu Buhari, particularly in the area of all-inclusive polity.
A leader that will open his arms to bring in more people. And that is what we have seen in the person of Mr. President, who has been able to pilot the affairs of this country without looking at his own sector. And he tries all he could to make sure that he protects the interests of all of us.
Other party stakeholders and a representative of the newly inaugurated officers maintained that the emergence of the local government chapter executives marks the beginning of a new dawn in APC Akwa Ibom State chapter.
I want to assure everybody on behalf of the officers that have been elected and sworn in today that we are not going to fail in our responsibilities.
The inauguration of the chapter executives follows a successful conduct of the party's congresses in all the 31 local government areas in the state on September 4, 2021. In Uyo, Clement Barakui, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. He's back to Nolin for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Dibabari. The Federal High Court Abuja has convicted and sentenced Faisal, the son of Chairman, Defunct Pension Reform Task Team, Abdurrashid Maina, to 24 years imprisonment for his involvement in money laundering and receiving the proceeds of crime from his father. Justice Okon Abang handed down the sentence at the conclusion of the defendant's trial. Olabode Arewa reports.
Faisal Abdurrashid Maina was convicted counts for operating an anonymous company, Alhaji Faisal Abdullahi Farms, which he used for operating ghost bank accounts and receiving cash inflows from his father, Abdurrashid. The court held that the defendant knew that monetary inflows into the accounts were proceeds of crime. He was sentenced to 5 years on count 1, 14 years on count 2, and 5 years on count 3. The court also ordered the winding up of the company is to refund the sum of 58.1 million naira to the federal government. The court further ordered the government to use all lawful means to extradite Faisal to the country to commence his imprisonment. However, the prison terms are to run concurrently. That means he will serve for 14 years.
We will look at the judgments. Then we will decide which way to go from there. But of course, we are saddened by the fact that our client's whereabouts, as we speak, up to now is still unknown. We had thought the court would have at least taken an inquiry into his disappearance.
Meanwhile, his father, Abdurrashid, is still facing 12 counts of fraud. He was alleged to have perpetrated as head of the pension office at the head of civil service of the Federation. Olabodarewa, NTA News.
From judiciary, we take you to transportation, where Minister of Transportation Chibuike Rotimi Amechi has identified inadequate funding as one factor mitigating the development of Nigeria's inland waterways. He was speaking at the opening of the National Inland Waterways Authority's area office in Abuja. Oinaya Kaloka reports.
The minister, Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, said with only about 3,000 kilometers of navigable waterways in Nigeria, out of the 10,000 kilometers, lack of funding is a major problem, while maintenance dredgings are not carried out.
We have to work hard, so the more money they bring, the more dredging we do to make it navigable.
The minister commended NIWA's effort in reviving the inland waterways despite some challenges. Director General NIWA George Mogalu, while briefing the media on achievements for 2 years, said it is prepared to reform and revive the country's waterways.
Congestion in Lagos, that whatever that can be done to ease that congestion will be to the economic benefit of the country. And then for us in NIWA, we believe very strongly that one way we can ease up the congestion is by opening up the waterways, enhancing waterway transportation. moving bulk cargo on waterways.
He thanks the President, the ministers, and other stakeholders for their support. Oyinme Akalu Oka, NTA News.
And talking health now, the federal government and joint health sector unions, JOHESU, and the Allied Healthcare Professionals Association, APA, at a meeting in Abuja, have set up a 7-man technical committee on consolidated health salary structure, CONHES adjustment. The meeting also mandated the federal government negotiation team led by the Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, to ensure whatever sum was approved for CONHES adjustment is accommodated in the 80 billion naira budget proposal for salary adjustment for Federal Ministry of Health and other sources government intends to employ to defray such emergency expenditure. The meeting reminded the Federal Ministry of Health to immediately circularize positions canvassed by JOHESU APA to sanction erring chief medical directors who refused to implement the circular on consultant cadre for pharmacists, which was only been implemented by 10 of the 56 federal high health institutions. The committee, which has a timeline of 2 weeks, is comprised of 2 members from JOHESU APA, 1 each from Federal Ministry of Health, Ministry of Labour, National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, and the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPS. Let's now join Frema in Jos for some reports. Hi, Frema. We are sorry we can't connect with Jos for now because of network problem. So, okay, I'm told the audio is back. Okay, Frema, you are on.
To have you join us here in Jos Morning. The House of Representatives Committee on Health Services is calling for the strengthening of health services in institutions across the country. Chairman of the committee, Pascal Chugoze Obi, was speaking during an oversight to Jos University Teaching Hospital. Kenna Gochin reports.
The committee, which is on nationwide tour of federal health facilities, assesses equipment and operations of health institutions in the state. Some of the critical units that received immediate attention of the committee at the Jos University Teaching Hospital include Molecular Biology Laboratory and Isolation Center. The committee commended the management of the hospital for carrying out its professional mandate and appreciates resident doctors for suspending the 3-month strike.
I expect to get a report that they've been completed before November because we are preparing a special report for the federal government on that. And we are going to sanction institutions that are not excising or executing those projects with the needed vigor and seriousness.
The Chief Medical Director of Jos University Teaching Hospital notes that the institution has made remarkable progress with more projects through improved budgetary allocation, saying with support from federal government, the hospital will be a world-class health center.
That's what the federal government is replicating in most of the teaching hospitals across Nigeria. We now have capacity across Nigeria in all federal teaching hospitals, federal medical centers, specialist hospitals to handle any emergency such as COVID-19.
The Chief Medical Director assures the committee that ongoing projects at the hospital will be completed before the year runs out. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
Jos University Teaching Hospital is now rendering full services to patients following the suspension of strike by resident doctors. Sa'adatu Mohammed Kafa has the details.
Activities at the Jos University Teaching Hospital were paralyzed as a result of the 2-month strike by resident doctors. The hospital is now a beehive of activities following the suspension of strike as patients have continued to troop the health institution for medical services.
Issues have been resolved. As at this time, our members who were on the Give Me's platform are being captured onto the IPPI's platform, which is one of our demands. We have been informed that the house officers who were being owed salaries from January up to this time have been paid their salaries.
I'm happy, I'm so excited that they are back. At least one can come freely now, unlike before.
It's very good that they resume. Unlike before, when they have not resumed, you come here, you see this place is deserted. No doctor to attend to you, but now you can see patients coming in because the doctors have called off their strike.
The management of the hospital applauded the two parties for reaching an agreement, promising to continue to render quality services to patients.
It is our hope now that the residents are back and full services, of course, resume.
It could be recalled that the National Association of Resident Doctors embarked on an indefinite strike on 2nd of August 2021 over welfare. In Jos, Saadat Muhammad Kafa, NTA News.
Our contribution from Jos, Obehi in Benin is next with more reports, but after this break.
Broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College Jos invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Archival Management System in the Broadcast Media, date 11th October to 29th October 2021, 3 weeks. Intermediate Presentation Techniques, date 11th October to 22nd October 2021, 2 weeks. Digital Satellite, Microwave, and RF Technologies, date 11th October to 15th October 2021, 1 week. Advanced Broadcast Accounting and Auditing, date 25th October to 5th November 2021, 2 weeks. Photojournalism and Photography, date 8th November to 26th November 2021, 3 weeks. Transmitter Operation and Maintenance, date 1st November to 5th November 2021, 1 week. The course fee for the 3-week course is 130,000 naira per participant, while the fee for the 2-week course and the 1-week engineering courses is 100,000 naira only per participant, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more information, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Iheanacho near post and scores.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will look to continue their excellent start to the World Cup qualifiers when they take on Lefauve of Central African Republic. Will Lefauve pull off a shock on the home soil of the Super Eagles? It's Nigeria versus Central African Republic at the Tesla Balogun Stadium in Lagos, Nigeria on the 7th of October, showing on the network service of the NTA and AIT from 4:30 p.m. with live radio broadcast on Cool FM, Wazobia FM and Nigeria Info. You can also join online at sporty.com and NPFL TV. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers are proudly brought to you by BetNiger and supported by MTN, Coca-Cola and Dettol, proud sponsors of the Super Eagles.
Hello, welcome to Benin. The quest to promote the political and economic empowerment of women and accelerate their participation in governance has continued to reverberate across all strata. This time, the League of Women Voters, Edo State Chapter, are at the forefront with more advocacy, which it took to the NTA Benin Network Center to garner more support. Uduakubong Achibong has details.
The advocacy visit by members of the League is in recognition of the role of NTA in promoting the cause of women. The chairperson of the League of Women Voters in Nigeria, Edo State Chapter, Elizabeth Ativie, believes that advocacy to political gatekeepers and other stakeholders is needed if they should realize their vision and objective in perfecting democracy through the power of women.
The purpose of this visit, therefore, is to partner with you, which we have been doing before, but we want to increase the tempo and want to increase
Not so many of them are well known.
There's very little to put together for the Super Eagles' opponents today, unfortunately. But they've got something that can count in football sometimes. These players have been playing together, so there is some sort of registered and very consistent and known understanding. They have a couple of players in that team also that can inspire the side. But unfortunately, the task before them is just too daunting.
It's just too tough for them to take.
Just too huge.
All right, so we hear it from Titus Bankole now. The task before them is just too tough. But when we come back from this break, we'll discover exactly how tough is the task before the Central African Republic at the Teslim Balogun Stadium today. Let's take this message from our sponsors.
The African qualifiers, proudly brought to you by Bet Niger and powered by Integral.
Equipped with one of the world's most sophisticated technology, we're everywhere, with an option of over 90,000 live sport events every year. And right now, over 1 million people are waiting, calculating, staking, watching, and then winning big. Because we belong to the winning team. Play better with Bet Niger. More than a bet.
6 o'clock in the morning, getting set for another day. Another chance to change my story. I believe in my hustle. I know be lazy person. But life is just stay knock me baskos. If it don't close, I go find another. If I fall down, I go try to recover. If it ever walk me, I know they bother. Cause I believe say I go surely prosper. You don't get that shit won't be. We move. No matter what they say, we move.
Whatever life brings, we move. Turn up your dreams. MTN, everywhere you go.
To receive me a bundle of joy. Mommy is making my home cleaner and safer. We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
Illnesses can happen at home too. That's why Dettol and me together will make my baby's home safe and to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why moms want to be Dettol, Dettol Sure.
We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
Foya, Mashishelo Tara Tara, Amamni Shirike, Asim Gada Lamba, Mashifoya, Mashishelo Tara Tara, oh, I make you walk the walk, oh, don't you settle, oh, no, yeah, on a daily, believe say you be.
Use Emzor paracetamol for feverish conditions, aches and pain.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will get an early feel of the nation's cup atmosphere when they take on Central African Republic in Cameroon. Will they come away with maximum points? Find out this Sunday in the return leg of the FIFA 2022 World Cup qualifier featuring the Super Eagles of Nigeria versus the Wild Beasts of Central African Republic. Showing on the network service of the NTA and EIT from 1:30 p.m. with live radio broadcasts on Cool FM, Wazobia FM and Nigeria Info. You can also join online at sporty.com and NPFL TV. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers are proudly brought to you by BetNiger and supported by MTN, Coca-Cola and Dettol, proud sponsors of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The African qualifiers powered by Integral.
It's the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Lagos taking on the Central African Republic for a spot at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Remember, not everybody is allowed at the stadium due to the COVID protocols, and so you can watch live here or online with your MTN data at sporty.com. Also, remember to keep your family protected with the toll as we keep observing all COVID protocols. My name is Tegano Jaife, and this World Cup qualifier is proudly sponsored by BetNaija and MTN, the official communication sponsors of the Super Eagles, Coca-Cola, the official soft drink sponsors of the Super Eagles, and the Toil, the official hygiene partners of the Super Eagles. I still have Titus in the house. Titus, really huge game right now for the Central African Republic to take on. But for the Super Eagles, they're still giving call-ups to new players, and we have 2 new players in the Super Eagles squad for this World Cup qualifiers. Talk to us about who they are and what they plan to do to the team.
Let's go to the back first of all. The inclusion of the English born or Italian born, a lot of people argue, talking about Calvin Bassey, who plays for Rangers, having him join the defensive mix-up for Genero is quite interesting and very exciting. Good to see him. Of course, Taiwo Awoniyi gets to be in the Super Eagles team for today. It's pretty exciting for the lads.
Because coming in through the ranks for Taiwo Awoniyi after winning the Under-17 for Nigeria, this is a good deal to see him at the Super Eagles. So let's hear from the newbies in the Super Eagles what they had to say about their call-up to Nigeria.
Firstly, I think Nigeria is full of talent, like you said. There are many Taiwo back home that you've not even seen. There are even many Osimhen, also an Iheanacho. This is the kind of atmosphere we come from. But for me, I think I'm this guy as a striker. I'm a bully, to be honest. I think I'm fast, I'm strong, and that's my key point. And I think that Osimhen also and is showing it every time. And I think every game I'm a finisher also. And I think those are the things that we're bringing into the team, and I'm here to help the team also.
That moment for me was, I was just annoyed. There was so much emotions running through me. There was more anger because I had the chance. I really wanted to come back in October, but it was God's plan for me to come now, and I'm happy just to be here now.
Really tough one for Calvin Bassey, missing out in October, but like you said, it was a great thing to come back now to play for the Super Eagles in this World Cup qualifier window. So we know in Nigeria that defensive problems are not really an issue for us. So like they say locally, we have the Oyinbo wall. Yeah. In Truth Ekong and Leon Balogun. We also have Omero and Aboziam who orchestrated the second leg against Cape Verde. Yes. So what can Calvin bring to this team that we haven't seen so far at the Super Eagles?
So a lot of people will argue or favor the mixture of youth and experience, and when you want to have that pairing, you can always count on Calvin Bassey to make that happen for you, especially when you have the sort of players we have in the Super Eagles. And I think for him, pairing with the likes of Trust Ekong would be really good. He's young, he's agile, he's very fast, and also very versatile. Playing from the left part of the defensive makeup also is a great advantage as a very natural left-footed player.
Yeah, something we haven't seen because we have a lot of right-footed players in Nigeria's central defense. But while some players are excited to come back home to play for the Super Eagles, one particular player didn't really impress his coach. So let's hear from Gennard Raw what he had to say about Maduka Okoye, the goalkeeper of Nigeria, coming in very late to camp.
The late arrival of Maduka, he arrived in the night only. He missed his flight. I'm not happy about it. It's not professional. And I'm not sure that he will start the game. We have 2 other goalkeepers. We need discipline in this group, especially when everybody believes that we will be an easy victory. It's not an easy match again. And when players are arriving late like this, it's not helping us when we say we have to be serious. So he will do a training. He did already 1 training session this morning in gym. And then he will do another training session this afternoon. I spoke with him. He knows that it's not good. We were trying to have a good flight for him to come early. He missed it. So, yeah, so they have to learn to be really serious when they come to national team.
I like the fact that the coach is really sitting on discipline, because despite the fact that the Super Eagles have a 100% record so far, the work is not done. So, Okoye Maduka coming in late to camp and the coach insisting that you can't do this and just get away with it. There's no given spot for anybody here on this team.
Yeah,
you have to hustle for your shirt every time.
Raw made a very vital points there, and I like how very stern he was with his, opinion or comments about the situation. Sometimes a form of fitness may not be enough for you to cement your place in a team. Discipline is a core factor. It's quite essential. If you're disciplined, you can always warm up to the coach, always have his heart over other issues. And I think it's good for other Super Eagles players who may have intentions of going Maduka's way in the future. So for General, quite impressive intervention there, and I like the fact that he's making it very open and not hiding anything.
I like that he's making it open, but this is one of those situations that if you get the opportunity, take it, and maybe the person that was in that position doesn't get to take his position back. So the chance for another goalkeeper to step up, maybe keep a clean sheet, and then be in the running for the headline. So not really good one for Okoye Maduka, but there's still a lot of players that are out there waiting for their chance. And let's talk about the midfield now. We don't have Wilfred Ndidi for this World Cup qualifier, and Ogene Karo Etebo due to different kind of injuries. How does the midfield of the Nigerian Super Eagles fare without those players? I know we say Central African Republic is a team that ideally anybody should beat, but there are no minnows in football anymore. How does the Super Eagles manage this situation?
And that's why sometimes I always say when you have some, notable starters for Super Eagles and you have ability to mix them up when games go your way, some changes. And I think the likes of, yes, Ndidi not being included because he's recuperating from an injury, but you have the likes of Joe Aribo coming into the mix.
Exactly.
Yes,